was going to do a cheer song for a second.
Are you ready? All right, everybody, please join me in welcoming yet another awesome group from this academy that I think this academy is going to go down in history, personally. But please join me in welcoming Group 3.
Hi, we're TeamSASS. Heidi, Katie, and Joe. We considered formatting this session the same as we did last time, where we talked about what we learned or what are our takeaways, and then we went, because we looked at the list and said, oh, there's this thing called other impact learning. And that's where it hit us. Authorship and product development hit us at other impact learning, and it's unique to each of us and our brands. And we're going to share our unique impact learning moments with you. For me, it was like this. We want to talk about products and authorships, and I knew I was just unsure and not ready. I talked to the girls and I said, I'm not in the same place as you. You know what you want to be doing already. But I could identify what I don't want to do. I don't want to get up like a presentation speaker that I saw a decade ago and do a sales pitch for an hour and a half. And then everyone talks about you because you were terrible. I don't want to be a used car salesman when I'm trying to share my values, share my knowledge, share my gifts. Those make me feel creepy. What I did learn is that I definitely had the brain cells and they definitely started churning. That I needed to really identify and learn about my unique ways to share what I know, what I've experienced, what I've learned. So my mind is a whole lot more open than when I was having my moment. But I'm still trying to wrap my brain around all these opportunities and all these products that when I was younger didn't exist. There are things now that you can do and you can buy and you can sell and you can monetize that were things like when I was watching TV, it was, and with Ronco, you can get a set of knives for $99.99 with 3 short payments. And I felt I was getting gypped or I was getting junk. And now I look at the things and the opportunities we have now between blogs and podcasts and a certain amount of things where it's limitless and it's overwhelming for me. We sat in our last group and came out with like, what, 27 ideas for Val out of the middle of nowhere? And I started thinking about what I could possibly sell or have a product, and I go, So that's where I'm at. I need to reframe my thought process and my product development, and that's where my impact learning is. Thanks, Joe.
I have a million product ideas. I want to write a book. I want to do an online program that has a workbook. I have lots of ideas for seminars and workshops and buttons and pins and magnets and t-shirts, and I could go on forever. So I'm going to have to slow down and figure out which one to do first, because I want to do quality over quantity, and I'm going to have to be willing to assume the risks that come with my product development, which brings me back to this image, in case you're wondering what it is. It's a futuristic dino apple. And this image came to me in a dream. I'm not going to go through the description too much of what the image actually means to me. I'll do that in a later talk. But it was really clear that I needed to work with this image. And I talked with several branding folks and several business coaches, and I kept getting the same feedback. This image is confusing. It doesn't make any sense. And so I shelved it. And in doing that, I realized I gave away my autonomy as the author of my own sort of self-business, etc. And it has shut down my entire world for the last year and a half, and I didn't realize it until last week, when I had the opportunity. If some of you didn't have a chance to hear Scott Stratton speak, I was so glad I was there, because I really needed to hear his message of just being willing to take a risk to be yourself, and his kind of irreverence that came with his personality. And I needed to hear that because I have been struggling to own that for me, kind of seeking outside, you know, I want to do this right. So I want to have the validation of the branding folks or my business coach or whatever, but they don't know my vision. How can they? I'm still developing it myself. So what happened was, after that talk and kind of looking at the module on sort of product development, it brought me back to this image, and I made a choice that I'm going to work with an artist to take the image to the next level. Like right now, I had an artist draw this just to get it down, and I'm gonna keep working with it to develop it, and I have to just take ownership of that. So that means I might have all these buttons of the futuristic Dino Apple that end up in my garage because they didn't land. And so then I have to be like, oh, that was a learning experience. Or, who knows, maybe it's something that takes off, but at the end of the day, I just have to assume the risk that comes with being me. And that means standing behind my products as a learning experience and being willing to take the time to develop them clearly, but also, if they fail, that's part of the deal. So that was my big takeaway, and you'll see more about the Dino Apple in the 8-minute talk in April. So it's a teaser. Never gonna.
Katie, can I just real quick?
Sure.
If you went to 99designs.com, 99designs.com, you can have 20 Dino Apples created, and then you choose the very one you want.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So get not just one designer, get 20 designers working on it.
Yes. Perfect.
Nice.
Thank you. 99 Designs.
Cool. We don't have that in our time, do we?
Go ahead.
No, you guys time.
Everybody breathe. This is part of it. It's on purpose. What I thought I'd do is share a little of a thumbtack of my product with you. Music is my product, and it's also my message. And so how do I present that so that you're gonna walk away with something useful? I'm thinking, yes, I have a book in the works. For those of you who have written a book, this is my first. Pray for me. Yes, obviously if I'm going to use music, I have to have some sort of an audio product. Yes, Teresa and I have talked about this a lot. CDs, although they are a dinosaur, not a Dino Apple, a dinosaur, they are still something tangible people want to take with them, or you can give in a gift bag or whatever. So yes, there's a CD in the works. In the back of the book, there will be, and I don't know the official high-tech term, somebody can tell me, the code that you will get when you buy the book that allows you to access the website. And on the website will be different kinds of music that might help you fall asleep, or that might help you get the vacuuming done, or we were talking about this earlier. The different genres, and it's all something that I create. Obviously that way I don't have to worry about copyrights, ASCAP, which is the thing with music, and I am not a composer. That's not my gift. I am what I call an interpreter. So that means, yes, on the audio side of things, I'm gonna have to get a lot of copyright permission and trademark and ASCAP permissions to do those things, which is going to force me to do more of my own music. The book isn't quite that way. We write a book, it's all of our own thought, it's your memories, it's your thoughts, it's your process. So I'll just need to make sure I cite everything legally that I know as facts and studies and that kind of thing. Products, though, are mainly for me that I can think of now, the book, the CD, and then an ongoing website to which you can subscribe, because quite honestly, I don't want to deal with sponsors and that. Having said that, we, the three of us, would welcome your ideas, much like what you guys did for us, on thoughts that maybe you're coming up with that we haven't thought of,
or even your thoughts on this presentation, what we could have done better. Thank you.
Or questions?
Questions? First question?
I clapped. I was about to clap for myself.
Questions? Thoughts for us?
I've thought
Products?
for Joe, what a wonderful thing to do for yourself, to give yourself the permission of what you are not.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we get stuck trying to figure out what we are, and it's a dead end. But to take the time to reflect upon, I am not this and I'm not this, allows you to peel those layers of the banana away to find out what is really truly inside of you. And it helps me really feel the burn.
Yeah, well, and it also helps from the standpoint of you're doing something when you're identifying what you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes when you get stuck, whether it's the blank page, whether it's the idea or that, and when you're stuck, you're not getting anything but stuck, and you got to find a place where you can be unstuck. Something like that.
Like it.
Thanks, that's great feedback. Yeah.
One of the things for Katie, I loved your Dino Apple, and I thought it was such a cool transition from some of your sharing earlier, as far as like the permission and the like evolving person, to also kind of open that up as an interactive activity. Like it probably means something very specific to you, but it's such a creative image that's not an assigned thing for us to like use it as an interactive way to get your audience engaged too with what's this mean, or like put up, you know, if you make 50 different ones, which one, like, and print them on cards and people pick which one they like, or which one means something to them. You know, like there's so much that would be a cool like interaction that gets people thinking really creatively and opening up.
Yeah, thank you.
And I was going to give you a suggestion. This is just a suggestion. I know you're going to probably get hundreds of them. But when you said the dino apple, I kept thinking a dinosaur made out of apples. Like, you know how you slice up the apples? Yeah, I do it for my son when we make, you know, snacks for him and stuff. So we pick up sliced apples, and then I could see it being made into a dinosaur. So it's just like, for me, I just,
Puzzle.
Yeah, all kinds of things. I love it. I think it's a great image.
Thank you. Thanks.
So one last question from Ben.
Well, it's more of a suggestion for Heidi. For those of us who music really resonates with our soul, I would totally buy like an 18-pack, you know, CD. You know, play this for when you need to be revved up. Play this when you need to calm down, and have different music attached to that. Or it could be a download, like an Apple Music download, but create that music for those moments and sell it as.
Rather than, as I said earlier, than saying, what are your angry songs? What, create your own playlist kind of a thing?
Yeah,
Anything?
no,
Make this easy. Here, it's prepackaged for you.
People at some level, I honestly think they actually do want to be told what to do. And they don't want to have to work for it. So if you do the work for them and present it and say, the work's done for you. You play this when you're angry. You play this. I don't know. I'm just
Great, excellent. Thank you.
brainstorming. Yeah.
Tina, did I see your hand go up?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, maybe instead of CDs, develop an app. A lot of cool apps.
Yeah, same thing.
I don't know anything
That's
about
just
that.
so far beyond my technological capabilities, so yeah, but you're good.
Can you collab? Can you work with someone who's good at writing the beats, where you're good at writing the rest of it, and it's you both share that process?
That's a thought. I'm still learning how to talk good.
Let's give team number 3 a round of applause.